All right. Boom. All right. Time to post this link. If I can find the link. Oh, there it is. I guess I kinda should have done this before before I started. Hey guys. Watch me. Okay. All right. And now to Instagram, I guess. I said I'd There's nobody watching right now. Yeah, I guess. Let's go into YouTube. And, if I can figure this out. I mean, I can just... All right. ARTN. All right. And now we wait. All right. Alright. So, I'm gonna wait for people to come in. If you're here, say hi. Yeah, I'm ready. Current viewers. Yeah, I hope everything is working. That I can be heard. Right. Excellent connection. Very good to know. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Then, hello, letter critic. Can you hear me all right? Is everything working properly? Am I? All right. Cool. So I'm gonna let people, whoever else is gonna come in. But I figured I guess I'll give like a little overview of what we're going to be doing today. So, as you can see here, I have some analogy planned for my second conlang that I'm going to be working on. But for the first half of the stream, I'm going to be doing a little bit of... Yeah, that's just how it's gonna be about the chat being delayed. That's just how it's gonna be because my my computer isn't the best. We're working with what we got. But yeah, so for the first half of the stream, the first chunk, we're going to be working on reworking the tenses in my first conlang, my first actual public conlang, Kea. It was my first like real attempt at conlanging. So I was a little bit naive, if you would. So I had a tense system which was pretty much, well, we can look at it. So I'm you're gonna see the absolute greatness that is my first conlang's organization. So looking at these tenses, you have a plain present tense, a plain perfective tense, an imperfective tense, and a general perfect tense. And however you want to describe the perfect. But the big thing was that I didn't understand the difference, like the reason that aspects existed. So I kind of just figured, oh, imperfective. That's just a continuous sort of deal, isn't it? So I decided to make it so that the perfective was more of a just a past, and the present is a non-past, and this imperfective dealy is more of a what is a tenseless? Yeah, let's just write it like that. Tenseless continuous. And that could be cool. Also, how do I get this to stay on top? Is there anything I can do to keep this on top? Because it's something. You know what? We're just gonna do this. Bam! Bam. Aha! I'm a genius. So, yeah, so we were looking at this sort of thing. Which, if you think about it, really doesn't make sense. Because you have this comparison between the past, a general past tense, and a perfect tense. Which if you don't have that perfective, can kind of be a little confusing. And in fact, there were times where I was confused as to whether I should use the imperfective or the perfect. In fact, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of exactly what it was. But in my video that I posted on Kea, the translation, like it was the second sentence, which I totally forget. But I was confused on whether or not to use the perfect tense or the imperfective. Because I didn't understand the difference. I didn't understand why you would do that. So, this needs a rework. It needs a very big rework. Only because I made this whole system without understanding it. You know, that's what needs to happen. Upon more consideration and learning the reason for tenses, like what, or not tenses, but aspects rather. Learning why aspects exist and why we would need aspects, Conlangery is a great podcast. They had like a 3-part series on just verbs, tense, aspect, and mood. And their aspect episode is what finally brought an understanding to me, so that I could figure out this was very wrong. This was not something that is very helpful. So all of that to say, I was a young conlanger once. I still am, but I was definitely not aware of a lot of the things that existed in language and why they exist. So, yeah, here we are. This is... Yeah, come to think of it, I've lost my grasp of the meaning of different aspects. Yeah, it's like really weird. Aspects are really weird because with tenses you get the sort of like very concrete sort of like past tense is past tense. Non-past is anywhere but the past. The future tense is what is about to happen. But we never aspects are just so much more fluid. But like by their definition, they are more fluid than tenses. So, and if we think of them as just as the passage of time, we can or how the event flows through the passage of time. It can be very limiting to think about it like that. Because, well, for Kea, if we just look at the copula, or the copula, o, ichi, he, kappa. Why would I use o? Why would I use the non-past versus he, the tenseless continuous? What's the difference? And coming from an English background, from an English-speaking background, my innate idea is to use the tenseless continuous. But Kea speakers aren't English speakers. So I need to define these better. And that's what today is, really. So let's hop into it. So I've had this set up. I have two choices, which looking at it, this one here is just kind of it's pretty much just the same thing, right? It's just the same thing that I've done in Kea. So I'm gonna just ignore that one. We're just gonna ignore the bottom one. But the idea I had is to go from a super unstable sort of thing and turn it into a super unstable, very solid sort of thing into a more metaphorical but more stable tense system. And then we have to figure out how that sort of thing works. So my thought was a non-past, near past, which is innately perfective, and a remote past, which could either be imperfective or perfective. And imperfective meaning the context behind something. I was running and I got hit by a bus. I was running. Was running is the imperfective past, because it sets up context, which is what the gist of that conlang episode was. It was that imperfectives and those just general continuous sort of aspects are innately context driven. And then the perfective or the instantaneous sort of things are those are the things that happened. One of my favorite examples of this is it's a okay, now stay with me. This is gonna come out of left field. It's from the Bible. It's he was saying. During this, he was saying. Which was saying is the past imperfective. It's giving the context of all of that sort of everything that's going on in that passage. So this imperfective versus perfective being in the remote past kind of brings up a question as to what would the remote past look like if this is what the tense system was. And then the near past is innately the thing we're talking about. Or we could do that the other way around, where the near past can either be imperfective or perfective, and the remote past can be perfective. With the remote past, with the perfectiveness of the remote past just being a reference to, like, it's done, it's not happening anymore, but it is just kind of innately there. It is innately contextual because it happened however long ago. So the choice given is that either the near past is perfective and imperfective and the remote past is perfective, or the other way around, where the near past is perfective and imperfective and the remote past is innately perfective. Or some other thing that I haven't thought about yet. So I'd be up to hear any sort of recommendations, any sort of suggestions for this tense system. It's the idea is complex into simple, or not complex, unstable into stable, and that's the idea. So if you have any suggestions, I'd be up to hear it. Just wanted to make sure you were still here and I wasn't talking to the ether. But yeah, that's so. Let's or down here. Very large. Very large. So okay. Long story short, this I want to take a unstable system, turn it into a stable, present, past perfective, past imperfective, perfect system. And my innate idea was to have a distinction between near past and remote past. And the question is, which do I want to have the perfective-imperfective split? Do I want a remote past to have the imperfective versus perfective split? Or do I want the near past to have an imperfective versus perfective split? Or is there something that I'm missing? Is there something that could end up with this? Because the thing is, one of these tenses is going to split. In this top one, the remote past is splitting into imperfective versus perfective, just a general past. Sorry, gotta stay hydrated. But in this example, it might turn into, like, the remote past becomes the past imperfective, and the near past becomes the perfective. The perfective near past becomes the perfective, the past perfective, and then the near past imperfective becomes the modern perfect. Perfect being just having current relevance, or something to the effect of I just I just ran. But the more I speak, the more confused I get. I don't know if that makes sense to you. But oh, hello, Phoenix. So let me see if I can think about this in some, or explain this in some way that is not as verbose as I've normally been, or as I've previously been. I want to take a less stable system and turn it into the standard. Yeah, I want to take an unstable system and turn it into the standard, non-past, past imperfective, past perfective, and perfect sort of deal. The question is, what sort of unstable, tense system should I take it from? And the idea is that it goes from unstable but solid. Like this, it has a very solid sort of semantic idea. And then it turns into a more metaphorical semantic thing. But yeah, that's the big thing. So I have this idea of a non-past, near-past, remote-past sort of thing. But what do you mean? Like them both splitting into separate perfective versus imperfective? So a kind of let's just create a new image. Boom. So non-past past like this sort of deal. Oh. Okay. Yeah. No, that's the thing. Yeah, either one could do that. And I'm trying to figure out, like, which one do I want to take where, you know? But mind you, I am completely open to other suggestions, like for tense systems, you know? Because the idea is complex to simple, or solid to metaphorical. So, and like that. The thing is, I could also see that, or that tenseless continuous thing, I can see that becoming a future. So that's also like, oh, wrong button. I can, like, it makes me wonder, should I keep the system that I have? And if so, I should define better. The perfect tense. What's the perfect tense? The perfect tense is just when I created it, when I said, hey, I should have a perfect tense, is just like having current relevance. So like, do you want to eat? No, I've just eaten. Or I just ate. Where in my dialect of English, that have construction is actually being replaced with just, which I think is super cool. But, long story short, I just ate. Or, I had been running. Like, where were you on the night of the 26th? Oh, I would have been running. I had been running. But it also, yeah, that's what I was thinking. The near past turning into the perfect. So, all right. See you, Phoenix. Have a good one. Yeah. But yeah, the main. So, if we're looking at it, so we might be looking at it something like non-past. Near. And a remote past. So something like that. Where just gonna kind of oh, oh, that hurt me to do because of that. Well, you know what? Just no borders. No borders right now. One world country. No borders. So that is what I'm thinking of. So, and mind you, this is just a proto-language. Kea is, like, up here. Proto and pre-classical world. Okay. So, looking at more of a near past. Like innately perfective. All right. So, yeah, so this, Kea would have this complex system. And I'm definitely, like, up to, if anybody who's watching currently, or anybody who's watching in the future, if they're up for watching me make the daughter languages of Kea, we can have that sort of. Let me rewind this. Let me rewind what I was saying. If anybody is up to watch me creating the daughter languages, I'd be up to streaming that or making the process visible on YouTube. But for right now, we are working on the proto language, that unstable system. Is it obvious that I have ADHD? But yeah. So now that we have this sort of deal, the question is, what do these mean? Why would I use this? Like, why would I use the remote imperfective versus the remote perfective versus the near past perfective? So let's translate, you know? Let's see. Oof. Oh, is it Proto World or Grammar Booklet? It is, in fact, the other one. It is the Grammar Booklet. Okay. Woo! This is a blast from the past! You see the imperfective tense. I had no clue what I was doing. So let's... Oh my gosh. Ooh. Dang. That's honestly whew. Okay, let's do some translating. Okay, bam.
Learn a language by watching
Why must
TV.
I be... What the...
Choose from hundreds of TV shows.
Stop seeing this ad.
Click on...
Okay. Get now! Now! If it wasn't obvious that I am an English speaker, the Kea o Kea is. Like, that is pretty much just... That's pretty much a word-for-word translation, isn't it? That is a word-for-word translation. So, if we are looking to say something to the effect of Gaia is the language of the gods and people from I am fine in saying Gaia. The problem is I can't see a better translation for that because we have a copula. So Gaia o Akeko. Or no, we would want a different sort of translation. Kea was. So what do we do here? What do we do here? This is why I wanted this. This is why I wanted a better definition on what these are. So the idea is that, like, Kea is a proto-language, and it obviously was spoken before yesterday. So, and because it's a context sort of thing, Kea is the language spoken. Is that context? Is that context? No. That is not context. That is just a statement. Well, let's look on... Okay, what the... why am I like this? Nesahoa kofe to... Yeah, that's just a statement. So... not that one. There we go. It's just a statement. So we're looking at something like a remote perfective. So, keahe geko. Keahe geko po. Geko po. To ai ga geate omo. Well, I jeez, this is so ineffective. What's the ablative? Ai alo. And I say that this should be an ablative only for the reason that it makes the most sense to me, because in English we have this phrase like, where are you from? And if you think about like, what does from mean? What is from? From just mean, like, in that phrase, it's like, where are you from? Where are you coming from? Where do you come from? Wie kommen Sie? Ich komme aus. I come from. In German, it's like a direct translation. So there's like this idea of leaving a place. Or being born into a place and then leaving. So yeah. Okay, so like a genitive sort of deal. Like, you are, because that's where my genitive came from. So ae, because ae means city, kind of means world, city. In Kea, ae is the world. And in later languages and later dialects and daughter languages, we're looking at like I meaning city, or I meaning like prison, or that's some con-worlding stuff. Definitely something I could go over. Definitely something I could post about just in general. So are you of what did my, oh my gosh, you can see, I feel so vulnerable. You can see my thought process as a beginner. Okay. Yeah, that is why I have an ablative. That's why I have an ablative. That is something now, isn't it? And I don't think that's very much of a stretch. I don't think that's very much of a stretch. To say from or of. I don't think that's very much of a stretch in general, like with any language that has a quote-unquote distinction between it. But yeah, so let's really? So, okay. Before I go any further, I think it's probably best that I explain the noun cases. Kea has 4 noun cases: nominative, accusative, genitive, and ablative. Now, nominative, accusative, the nominative and the accusative are like, they're whatever. They need no explanation. But this genitive can also be Well, the accusative can be used as an allative. The accusative can be used as an allative, but that doesn't need explaining right now. It can be used as an ablative for inanimate nouns. Which, there's just a semantic gender system. Like, pe, the word for stone, is inanimate. So if you're saying I came from the stone is pei, I believe. Stone. Or rock. There we go. Pei. Yep. Pei. So, and the ablative, I'll explain that in a second. So, genitive is for any noun class, and an ablative for inanimate nouns. And the ablative is an ablative for animate nouns and an abstract derivation affix for inanimate. So, can you see that fine? Like, is that okay? Like, I can zoom in if need be. I'm not against that. I think I'll zoom in, just to make it a little better. Okay, cool. Well, now you can tell better. So this genitive, the genitive and ablative they have their purposes. Like, they have their distinct purposes for animate versus inanimate nouns. So it's the question of, are we talking about people living things from aye? Yeah. Well, actually, right over here. So this word, pe, it means stone, right? Pe, peme, peme, pei, pelo. So, and I have it written down here, firm as an adjective. Or, pelo, the ablative form of stone, could mean hardy. Could mean just strong. It could mean... But the idea is that it's not stone. When I had that idea, it was like... I'm trying to think of what equivalent I had to it. Being made from silk. Being made... Ooh. Oh my. We are only 33 minutes in. But yeah. The idea is that it is made from something. Right? Something is from another thing. It's like you take some from a pile, or you make something from a material. Yeah, that's what that idea was. So yeah, pelo means hardy. Let's think. Let's find some others that are... Ooh, there's some world building. A wasteland. Amecha. Ayelomecha. Oh yeah. Because that's a compound. Well, long story short, Ayelomecha or Ayelomecha might be like empty. It's because it's that idea of it's from a wasteland. It's something from a wasteland. It's the idea of something being from a wasteland. Well, it's empty. You can't take anything from a wasteland. So, that was my idea for that abstract derivation. So, given genitive versus ablative for an animate or an inanimate noun. No, it is all. I feel like it would make sense because it's an animate sort of deal for it to be aelo. To be ablative. There we go. Alo. Yes. So, let's translate. Kea. So, Kea o ke kopo Kea he ke kopoto ai ka kia te omo ai alo. So, it's Kea is the language of the people and the gods from Ai. So, and then the question there is like, what are we saying? What are we saying it's from? What are we saying is from Ai? We're saying that the people and the gods are from Ai. Right? Like, that's not very controversial. I don't think, at least. So, cop remote. Oh no, it's perfective. God. Person PL. I don't. Bam. Actually, let's make sure I have that down correctly. Alo. Okay. 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 So. Okay. So, the biggest difference in the original translation and the new translation is that we have a different copula, and the preposition, or the adposition, is different. Where in the old translation, or the original translation, there is an in, ae, where in this one it is from I. Which, I don't think that's a big change. I don't think anybody would be like, oh, I don't understand what you're saying. So, let's move on. Next sentence, or next phrase. Nesa hoa kofe toa po te keano whakeano okoli iau kama, not ka. So after the first murder, the gods desired for the neutral K and the impure K to be exiled. Because world building! You gotta give a reason for people to be hated. Okay. Wish. Yeah, so Keano fa ka Keano okoli. Oh, wow. An augmentative infinitive. Oh, that's a noun! Oh, I had it so that infinitive verbs are nominalized. Ooh. I mean, I guess. I guess it's a context thing. Like what they would understand, like that that obviously isn't talking about an exile, like the thing of an exile. Iau means iau just means exile. Or to leave en masse. Considering that iau means to leave and ka is the augmentative. So, the question is, what do I do about that? Do I do something about that? Is that okay? Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's look at that first chunk. Look at that first chunk of the sentence, and then we'll work on it. So, nesa hoa kofe Is murder is murder an animate or an inanimate noun? The questions you didn't think you'd need to ask. Oh my gosh. Is murder an inanimate or an animate noun? Just like the thing, murder. Oh my gosh. What is it? Like, if we're defining it as living as in it can make its own choices, it can exist. Yeah, right? It's weirdly difficult. Why? This is like asking whether or not a book is a girl or not. Like, that's the great part about gender, and I absolutely love it. What? So, if we're thinking about it, IA, the word for city or world, is animate. Because it's bustling. It's a bustling city, or it's a world with people in it, and people live and have their own lives and ideals and wants. Yeah! It's very much not alive. So it's an action. But it's not nominalized. It's not a nominalized verb, I don't believe. I can check. Hoa. No. It's not a nominalized verb. It's just a noun! Oh, Yep! Right there! Whew. I like that that's just a noun. Oh. So the idea behind I be one moment, I have to move. I apologize. This is very unprofessional of me. All right. Am I still audible? Do I still exist? Okay, cool. So because a murder includes doer, it's I'm very tempted to call it an anime. And this matters. It's not like I'm just having fun and guessing the gender of a murder. It matters because of this whole genitive, ablative, and the oh yeah, this thing, this definite article. So only animate nouns take the definite article. That is that's the cincher. Like, what should I make it animate? I add the article. So I'm gonna go with it being an animate noun, just because aspect of, though it itself is not animate, though a murder itself is living. You can still, like, the parts of it, the aspects of the murder can be living, or at least was at one point living. So, o a apo o a o te piano. So the gods wished. There's that idea. Is that context, or is that context or statement? We could translate it as, like, after the first murder occurred, to get use out of that remote and then use that ote as a that ote in the oat perfective. So, yeah, I like that idea. I at this point, I just want to get use out of the different. Okay. Let's find a good synonym. After that whole, after the first murder stopped, like, happen. Oh, it happened. It's in the past. It stopped. Oh, that's a sort of stop. To be dead. Oh my god. There is so much just. Well, I have the idea to stop how happened. Um Oh, I started stop or cover. I like cover for like cover as in like that idea of it's covered up. We don't it happened. It's covered up. Covering it up. But stop has that sort of like it happened. Like stop. Instant. So I'm gonna leave that to I like the metaphor cover, but I also like the very solid reason. I I don't want to have I want to have a word for murder in a proto language. I don't want to have a specific happen. What? I can see both. But I can always fun. I have a feeling you're typing. Feeling there's typing going. Right now, I'm gonna stop. Stop for oh my gosh, for the word for happen. Just be solid. Up objective areapa. Apa. Isa hua o kofe huh? After murder, death, one ordinal. That's ordinal. Oh, it's cardinal. So I'll just say first. Fe. First murder occurred, happened, stopped. God's murder. Door. Oh. Let's look at. Not that one. Oh my god. Oh. Oh! Okay. So did I didn't gloss that it was in Yonka. So that was Hite gone oral out. Wish. Okay. Well, I'm gonna finish this section, and then we're gonna Ofsumir. Another line that I've abandoned. We're gonna work on this section, and that. So Apple. I don't know if Kaki on the yeah. Uh, that is. I think I'm fine. Fine with that. That just be. I'm just gonna copy that over. Fuck. Okay. Neutral and people leave og definitive desire the neutral and someday I'll have to get into some of this backstory, like what is like why they are good and neutral and chaos. But that's pretty much the story. So now that we have this, I think it's time. Ofsumir. Or at least that's the working. I want to make sure. Odd. Right. So. Ofsumir is. Ofsumir is definitely going to be. I originally abandoned it. I think I got too excited. I had with a system triliterate triconsonant, which let's just say I was not at a place to create a language with triconsonantal. You know? Like, it's just. So, given that I abandoned it, Frank, I wanted to look back on it and what I did wrong. So, I still want that idea of apology. And a lot of my conlang don't have very much. Haven't thought about that. I want that to be primary in. So, I have this thing. This absolute. So, I had an idea of subject agreement governed by apophony. So not necessarily apophony, but vowel mutation. That was the basis of this sort of deal. So, at this. This is like the perfect. So, this is like the perfect expected. Yeah, we're gonna create apophony, you know? That's like. So the idea is that with the first person, any vowel is from. Jeez. Moot. Meat. So, moot. And then second person become a mutation. Woo! So, that's like expected. Expect mot, mate, mot, mot. Expect mate. Hello, Phoenix. Expect mate, mate, mot, and mate. Mot, and mot. And then for vowels themselves being created, end up with possibly o and a and and ah. So long story short, you'd expect this to be perfect, right? Or if you just said front vowel in the first person with like it's I, like every vowel would be, when agreeing with the second person, every vowel would be some or have some mutation. And in the third person, nothing changed, right? Like that's what you would expect when I say front vowels front in the first become in the second person, nothing in the third person. That being said, what happens? What happened? Oh, Mom. I may not be speaking loud enough. You can check. Yeah, I don't think I'm. Oh. Hate that I have to do that. I really hate that. Is there a thumping in the background that everybody can hear? Is there a thumping? Okay, cool. Oh my gosh, because that was the big thing. That was the reason my mic was cutting out. Because I had a noise gate. I'm in my basement. There's like a thumping of pipes. I put a noise gate on it, so you thumping. Oh, and I wasn't speaking loud enough, so that's okay. Well, so we'd expect me, meh. Like that's the perfect vowels become fronted when agreeing. Or coloring when second person and touched when third person. Problem is, it's if you're not there, talking to the person, it's the question of, am I doing it or is he doing it? You know? Am I doing it or is he? Let's check again. Is this any better? Am I any more audible? And is there any thumping? Yes, no? Okay, cool. Well, I don't see any thumping coming through on my microphone or on my software, so should be good. But so the question is, like, am I the one doing it? He the one doing it? No? Alright. But yeah, so he, me, he. Like, what is that? Why is that the way it is? So we take that sort of idea and then we expand it. Take that sort of idea. Well, no, we don't expand it. Fix it. Fix it. Which is fantastic. Fantastic. The fantastic thing of language analogy. So, where we would expect meet, not, we get meet, not. But where we expect meet, not, meet, also get meet, not. Because meet is already I am. I'm doing. So, because E commonly couples with meet, it becomes meet, not, moot. Both, for both a historical and a historical means, like, say the word meat, fish, and moot. Oh, both become this one word. Okay. Where H, I vowel. Either so, and it to be weird and out it and mit to become weird and mot to fight a bear. Yes, to become weird. And mot to fight a bear both become where L a low vowel. And mutt. So, and mutt to engage in billiards. Fight a bear. How do you come up with these? Become weird to fight a bear and to engage in billiards. All are that same word. They all conjugate the same way. Mit, mat, mut. Meat. Not. So, to eat fish and to throw a tantrum both conjugate the exact same way, and become weird, to fight a bear, or to engage in billiards, all conjugate in the exact same way. So, that's my idea. That is my current idea. If you take a multi-syllabic word, so, let's say talit, talin, to wish. Yes, kind of. The difference is that there's not going to be, I don't plan for there to be like me, us, you, y'all, and hey, it's just gonna be I, you, them, or them as in singular. Aline, to wish themselves to be real. Throw the Talen. I've been trying to avoid using this one, but okay. To drink booze. On. To play. Right of the fantasy elves. And alone to and talon to pretend to pretend the elves are real. Fighting, to pretend you're fighting. So talin, talun, talen, talan, and talon, similar to the way the above. Talin, talan, talun, talan, talon. But because they are expected to be, for talen, it would be expected that it's talen, talan, talen. But because there's confusion there, it becomes, because oftentimes, like in talon, it's talen, first person, alone in the third person, just kind of think, oh, A is normally the compatriot O, so we'll just say that it's O. That the normal one, there is O. So, that's the big thing. That's the idea. So, this is literally all I had prepared. And I want there to be an L infix to mean something. So, meet, milt, not malt, et, melt, not malt. And you believe me, that's not gonna be that's not gonna stay. That's not gonna stay. I don't think it'll stay as an have all sorts of confusion. I think I have something cool on my hands. All right. So, eventually I want to try a language. So let's take modern lang. So if we're looking at vowels, okay. So, given my sketch, so, thing is, if I were to add anything, or if I were to add any other vowels, they would have to have some sort of front back. So if I were to add, like, if I wanted to say, have an I need an IPA keyboard. That's just Bianca Mangum would be so proud. So I wanted I would also probably I would need to justify that with having like an I don't think I would. Not entirely sure, but I just Bianca Mangum is a host on a podcast, conlang podcast. I recommend it for any conlangers watching who want to get conlanging better. So, and she famously hates Exampa. Much prefers that everybody international finance, which I cannot blame her, but Exampa very convenient if you're just trying to sketch something. Trying to sketch something down, it's like, no, 2. Like, you don't have to copy paste. Yeah, right now I think I'm gonna stay with this, but I'm gonna leave that open. Anybody who thinks they should add more. You know what? Since watching right now, typology. So, word order. No, I want suffixes. I want those verb correction. I want those subject markers to be at the end of the word. End of the word to be modified because ah. Want the end of the word to be modified. So I think it's probably smart that I do SO word subject. And generally I don't stray very far from typological norm. But I want adjectives. Like, there are tendencies for adjectives to dog, big. Dog. Oh. But it's not unheard of. It's not entirely unheard of. In fact, English does it. English is also a mix of 12 million languages, but English doesn't. Not entirely against adjective adjective. Adjective, noun, preposition, noun. No, it would be noun noun postposition. No. Adposition, head. Would be preposition, noun. Adposition. Preposition, noun. So adjective, prep, noun. Prep. Verb, auxiliary. No. Yeah, that's word order. I can touch on. I should probably relative clause. What will a relative clause be? Where will that be? VSO. SO. Relative clauses would be after. Like, it would be rabbit that run versus that which runs quickly. Yeah. Alright. Bam. Yeah. I think I'll down. Clause. So, like, the adjectives are weird for some reason. We can justify that later. But, yeah, we can justify that later. That's not... I can say it was... interaction. Clefting. Oh, clefting. I need to do something with clefting. I think I'll do. I think I'll do that. Ofsumir. Clefting. Big time clefting. Analogy. Clefting. And clefting is pretty. Clefting is just like that idea of he who is great. The man. He who is great. The man who is great. Like, that's a cleft. The man who is great. Or he who is great, the man. The dog. Oh, he who is great. If I'm correct. So, given that, I think relative clauses should come first. Yeah, relative clauses are coming first. So, if the goal is to use that's a lot of the typology, or the word order typology at least. Let's come up with some why, not why. What happened about genitives? Genitives. Well, no. Let's locus of marking. Oh, I want verb agreement, right? I want verb agreement. Head mark. What? Head marking. I'm like in love with dependent marking. I love noun case. I love that sort of stuff. So of choice. So I do want verb. I want verb agreement. Head marking language. So it is a dominantly head marking language. But like there's nothing much like there's I don't okay. So analogy, clefting. Analogy, clefting. My gosh. Control B. Control I. Oh, whatever. No nominal number. No grammatical number. So We can do a lot of stuff with the nouns. Locus of marking, head mark. Can do stuff with noun. We can do stuff with nouns. I think I have to look. I am definitely not as prepared as I could have been. So, I think I'm gonna end it here. So, everyone, good day. Langing.